Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hut, and we are back here at the Baseball Hut 2. This is going to be a big updated video. As you know, there was a trade last night. New York Mets traded their closer of the moment, David Robertson. They traded him to the Marlins for Marco Vargas and Ronald Hernandez, two prospects in the Florida that play in the Florida Complex League. Now, I'm going to have this, but before we get into that, I need you to subscribe and like this video. I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff here, but particularly a lot of rumors over the next few days as we draw closer and closer to the trading deadline. But here's a major update, I would think, is Justin Verlander. Verlander could be on the move. I'm going to give you a couple of tidbits here. This is from MLB.com. This was posted last night. It's from Mark Feinsand. The Mets entered the weekend at 48-54, trailing the Reds by 7 games for the final spot in the National League wildcard race. New York is also looking up at 4 other teams, the Diamondbacks, Marlins, Cubs, and Padres, behind the 3 wildcard leaders, giving them a big mountain to climb if they want to reach the postseason. Verlander is in the first year of a 2-year, $86.66 million contract with the Mets, a deal that also includes a conditional $35 million player option for 25. The right-hander has a full no-trade clause in the contract, so he can't be traded anywhere without his approval. Now, he said he's here to stay. He wants to stay here. He will not waive that at the moment. The front runner for Verlander, according to one source, would likely be the Rangers, who are said to be seeking rotation help and are taking an aggressive approach to the trade deadline. It would be noted that Texas pursued Verlander last winter, but the pitcher expressed no interest in joining the Rangers, who are coming off of their 6th consecutive losing season. Quote, maybe that's changed with their performance. Verlander spent the first month of the season on the injured list, then struggled to find a groove since starting his first 9 starts, regularly alternating good and bad outs. Since June 26th, Verlander is 3-1 with a 1.46 ERA and 6 starts, averaging more than 6 innings per outing. He's pitched much, much better. Another club said to be interested in the Astros, the team of which Verlander pitched from September 2017 through the end of the 2022 season. One executive pegged a surprise sleeper team and a potential Verlander sweepstakes, the Cincinnati Reds, since he has the system to get a deal done. And Reds GM Nick Kroll might be just wild enough to do it. Now, a couple of things. The Rangers and the Cincinnati Reds have huge farm systems. They have the best farm systems in baseball. I mentioned this, and I've been mentioning this in a lot of videos. If you're the New York Mets in particular, because I'm a Mets fan, as you tell, if you're the New York Mets, you find the best farm systems that you can find and trade with those teams. Last night they traded with the Miami Marlins. The Marlins have a good farm system. They have a lot of pitching in their farm system. So that is something to keep an eye on with the New York Mets. Will these guys go? Probably not. Also, new layer to this. There is discussion, and there was an article 2 weeks ago in the New York Post discussing how the Mets are internally trying to figure out where Kodai Senga is in terms of as a Met ace. Do they view him as an ace in their rotation? Because going based off of performance, you would think that he's the ace of the Mets staff, and Verlander and Scherzer are middle of the rotation starters right now. If that's the case, then maybe you move these guys that are Hall of Famers, but they're not aces anymore. You'd have to eat some of the money and you move them out of here. I have felt that the most logical thing to do is to move at least one of them, so you're not dealing with this question mark next year. Another thing to keep an eye on. There is a pitcher in Japan. His name is Yamamoto. He's considered the best pitcher in Japan, and he's actually considered better than Kodai Senga. His team will post him in the offseason. I expect the Mets and a lot of teams to be there want to sign him. The Mets will not be outbid for any kind of post. They will dump so much money on that team and on Yamamoto. They will go hard after him. A couple things about the general manager. He has a relationship with Japanese players. He scouted Japan a lot when he was with the Yankees. So he has a very strong relationship with the Japanese and their teams out there. So just keep that in mind in terms of where the Mets are as a franchise. Now, the Minnesota Twins. It seems like a lot of Twin starters are drawing a lot of trade interest. This is from MLB Trade Rumors. The Twins have a strong enough rotation that rival clubs are expressing interest in their starters, reports the Munchkin Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic. That's not to say that the club is shopping any of those pitchers or seriously considering the incoming offers, but it seems it is an avenue that could be available to them prior to the deadline. The Twins was Tyler Mahle earlier this year when he required Tommy John surgery, and had been without Chris Paddock all season long to him undergoing the same procedure last year. Nonetheless, they still have a five-man rotation of Sonny Gray, Joe Ryan, Pablo Lopez, Bailey Ober, and Kenta Mahita, all of whom are generally pitching well to varying degrees. Mahita is the only one with an ERA above 4.13, and his 4.62 mark is skewed by a 10-run drubbing he suffered early in the year, just before landing on the injured list. The club would be under no pressure to move anyone from that group. Their 54-50 record is strong enough to put them atop of the American League Central, a game and a half clear of the Guardians. But the interest might be a symptom of this year's strange market. The expanded postseason and some tight divisions have made it so few teams are clear-cut sellers, which seems to be leaning to more trades between contenders. The Twins already made one such deal, as they and the Marlins swapped relievers earlier this week. With so many other clubs looking for pitching, perhaps the Twins would consider trading one of their five aforementioned names in order to address a different part of their roster, then leaning on a depth starter. They have veteran Dallas Keuchel in the organization on a minor league deal. They have some other depth options on the 40-man roster like Louis Verlander, Simeon Woods-Richardson, though neither are having especially dominant seasons. Paddock could also potentially return in September. The Twins have been reported to be seeking bullpen help and right-handed bats. While they are getting trade interest in their outfielders and now their starters, I would mention there's been rumors of Tommy Pham and Mark Canha with the Twins. So keep that in mind. And there's a team we haven't talked much about, I think at all, since I did the video on the Brewers possibly leaving Milwaukee. And that's the Milwaukee Brewers. Well, it's funny you should mention them. This is from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. As the Major League Baseball trade deadline approaches, we'll keep tabs on the rumors and speculation related to the Milwaukee Brewers from around the internet. The Brewers have already made one big move, trading for first baseman Carlos Santana in exchange for 18-year-old prospect Johnny Severino, which is what they did with the Pirates. What else is cooking for the Brewers? A proposal from Fangraphs for a Jameer Candelario deal. Fangraphs offered a series of trade proposals around baseball, including one that would get the Brewers a third baseman to pair with their new first baseman. He proposed, I can't pronounce the guy's name, so excuse me. He proposes the Brewers acquiring Candelario from the Nationals for minor leaguers Robert Moore and Freddie Zamora, a pair of middle infielders. I quote, I can't imagine that the Brewers will stand completely pat given their precarious lead in the NL Central, but I suspect they aren't in the mix for the best players available at the deadline. The team is 13th in the National League in runs scored, so they need to add offense fast. And Candelario is a solid bat to plug into the middle of the lineup for 2 months. Third base has been one of the lineup's weak spots. Candelario is 29, is a free agent after the year, and is having a superb season with 16 home runs. He grades out as a slightly above average defender in terms of defensive runs saved by the fielding Bible. So he wouldn't be a downgrade there. Moore, who had a big night in Advance A, Wisconsin on Thursday night, is regarded as the Brewers' number 8 prospect, according to MLB.com. Could the Brewers get a good return dealing major leaguers like Victor Caratini and Colin Ray? They might not immediately jump to mind as players who can be traded with a big return, but Jeff Passan of ESPN floated a couple names that the Brewers might be willing to trade, namely catcher Victor Caratini and starter Colin Ray. Robert Murray of Fansided echoed Passan's sentiment that Caratini could be a trade chip. The reliable backup catcher has often served behind the plate for Corbin Burns as star. Well, he's a personal catcher. I don't know if they're going to... But then again, they do not have a good relationship. They don't have a good relationship with Corbin Burns. He's going to get moved at some point. He's going to get moved. That I can guarantee. He will be moved at some point very, very quickly. Now, let me know what you think about this video. What do you think about Verlander? What do you think about this thing with Verlander, this has kind of come out of nowhere, to be honest with you. And I think that needs to be watched very closely. I could see now the Mets moving Verlander and Scherzer. That might be why they were so quick to move David Robertson on Thursday night. They might have some bigger things to do. And who knows, they might bring in some talent, some really big talent. I don't know, some guy, some outfielder from San Diego. So just keep that in mind. So, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut 2. Please check out the Prospect Hut. I'll put the link into that channel. I need you to subscribe. That channel is kicking ass. Thank you, and I'll see you later.